Hey everyone, a week 9 edition of Browns Thoughts here. The Cleveland Browns lose again, 27-10 to the LA Chargers. I should have seen this coming. I have been fooled countless amounts of times into believing that a Cleveland Browns team could maybe turn it around and leave it to the Baltimore Ravens to give the Browns a win, emotional win for Jim Donovan, and provide some sense of hope. Leaving out the fact that the Ravens, aside from being a good defensive team, are pretty bad against the pass, and that's why Jameis Winston had a 300-yard passing game, which the Browns hadn't had in God knows how long, since the days of Joe Flacco. But yeah, this was not good today. 3 interceptions for Jameis Winston. It was not pretty, but he did clear 200 yards. I need to point that out. He did get sacked 6 times. Browns defense had a bunch of breakdowns early on in this game, leading to a 3rd and 21 being converted, and then a 3rd down and long being converted for a 66-yard touchdown. Like, it was ugly defensively. You could tell they missed Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Like, the gaffes in the secondary reminded me of the days of Joe Woods. I thought we fired him 2 years ago, so that was weird. But what I really want to emphasize on this is a couple things. Number one, the Browns are getting a new quarterback next year. Let's just end that conversation. We had fun with it for a week that maybe Jameis Winston at 30 years old could have some sort of like career renaissance. This is who Jameis Winston is. He's a roller coaster. You don't know what you're going to get with him. And sometimes he is just going to make a bunch of turnovers, and like he had 3 interceptions in this game. It was not a pretty game, and it cost them a lot of points and they had some good drives, including to start off the second half. They throw an interception there. Like, it was just not good. So that's the first thing. The Browns are going to be looking for a quarterback in the 2025 NFL draft. That's happening. Whether it's Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, whoever, Carson Beck, whoever, the Browns are going to look for a new quarterback. There's one thing that I do need to emphasize that has been going on Browns Twitter, and I did not think that it would take 2 weeks for us to get back to Deshaun Watson. Because they were saying, man, Jameis Winston looks bad. Deshaun didn't look this bad. Were y'all watching the first 7 weeks of the season that I was? Was anybody watching? You want Deshaun Watson back? At least Jameis Winston was taking chances and pushing the ball down the field. Yeah, he threw interceptions. That's what happens when you force the ball and you push it down the field. That's what happens. You're going to make mistakes. That's the trial and error, and that's the nature of football. You've got to push the ball down the field to be successful, especially in a passing league where a lot of the rules lean offense, and you need to be able to stretch the field to give your running game opportunities to move the ball and whatnot. And what did we see for the first 7 games of this season? Deshaun Watson could not push the ball down the field. They were a historically bad offense. A historically bad offense on 3rd down. I think they went like 1 for 26 at one point on 3rd down with Deshaun Watson at quarterback, something crazy like that. Like, that was something that you would think would happen with the 2016-2017 Browns. Deshaun Watson, for the investment that he was having, was not worth what he was doing. And yes, maybe I'm looking at Jameis Winston a little bit differently because, hey, he's on a prove-it deal for like $6, $7, $8 million. But at the same time, you could just look at the basic facts of the fact he cleared 200 yards in his second game. Yeah, it happened in large chunk maybe later in garbage time, but at least he was trying to take some chances to score some touchdowns. The Browns were struggling after the opening drives with Deshaun Watson through the first 7 games of the season before he got injured in that 7th game against Cincinnati. So, look, the season's lost. It's been lost. And what this really revealed is, number one, the Browns are going to have a new quarterback. And number two, this roster and maybe the coach, there's some flaws here. I'm not fire the coach guy yet. I'm not fire Kevin Stefanski at this point. This has been a bad season. And I think the tone was set with that Dallas game of this offense was not going to be good. I had heard rumblings from a lot of Browns beat reporters that the offense that they overhauled completely with Ken Dorsey, they fired Alex Van Pelt, to go to more shotgun based, a lot to aid Deshaun Watson, a quarterback who couldn't play. So it goes back to everything that I've been saying on this channel and on this segment for 2 to 3 months so far of this season. We started in September, we're now in November now. It's like, if you're trying to find a reason to go back to Deshaun Watson, you need to go find another football team to root for, because you're rooting for the wrong team. You're fighting a losing battle at this point. I don't know what the hell you watched in the first 7 weeks of the season that convinces you that that was better than what Jameis Winston's done in the last 2 weeks. It's just like, this is what you get with Jameis Winston and being a backup quarterback. And at least they were moving the ball and they were having opportunities. And a lot of the reason why they were struggling was because Deshaun Watson wasn't taking those same chances. There were guys open. The guys weren't open in this game. And Jameis was trying to force things. And some of the schemes and some of the design of these plays just were not working. Guys were not getting open. It was leading to sacks. It was the same thing, and this offense is flawed. And why did they do the offense? Because of Deshaun Watson. Seriously, I don't know what y'all want me to say anymore. I've been saying this for two plus months now. Like, I feel like I'm a broken record now. It's just, and then I go to Twitter and I see Browns fans saying, man, and we missed you for. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? You miss crappy football? They won the one game they won since September was with Jameis Winston as their quarterback, and it was against the hottest team in the NFL, the Ravens. And you know what? We got fooled. It was an emotional moment. Jim Donovan, the longtime voice of the Cleveland Browns, passes away. Jim was a guardian angel. Kyle Hamilton drops the pass. Dustin Hopkins banks in a field goal. Like, it's just a bunch of weird shit happened in this game. And then every single conceivable Cleveland Browns thing that could happen happened in this game against the LA Chargers. Justin Herbert, who had really not looked like the Justin Herbert of old, looked like it today. They made some big plays. J.K. Dobbins, former Buckeye, goes for 85 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, it's just, the Browns couldn't run the ball. They couldn't take care of the ball. They couldn't protect. On the plus side of it, Myles Garrett had 3 sacks in this game. It meant nothing. It meant nothing. The Browns had 6 sacks in this game, but it meant nothing because they lost by 17 points. But the point is, I would expect Zadarius Smith to get traded to the Lions. That's been heavily rumored for a couple weeks. I don't know what else might be out there potentially for other potential moves to happen. But that's on the table. The Browns are not going to make the playoffs. Like, that was a crapshoot. This is faulty, Browns optimism, even though this team's let me down many times. The reality of the situation is they played a team with a bad passing defense in the Ravens, a rivalry game when their longtime play-by-play, who was beloved in the community, passed away. Like a guardian angel, they win one for Jim. And now it's back to status quo. They lost to a good team. They go into the bye at 2-7. They come out of it going to New Orleans. This is not going to be pretty for the Browns. Like, I think I saw their win total was adjusted to 5.5. Maybe they get over and get to 6-11. But this isn't going to be pretty. And you're probably going to be looking at a situation where Cam Ward is on the table. A lot of people are hyped up about him. Quinn Ewers potentially on the table. Carson Beck, even though he throws a bunch of interceptions. Because I'll talk myself into Shedeur Sanders, and I know I get jabbed by a lot of people because I really don't like what some of the things that Shedeur represents, and the very arrogant attitude and the circus that he's going to bring with his dad. I just don't think that's, and I don't think they're going to want to come to Cleveland in the first place. So there's that. But the reality is that the Browns quarterback is not on this roster. They could try Dorian Thompson-Robinson and see if it works. It's not going to work. This offense is broken. They need a new quarterback. There's a chance they might need a new head coach. I'm not ready to go there yet. But coming out of the bye is going to really tell you where this team is heading into the latter stages of this season. But this was not a good showing, and I should have seen it coming. So to any Browns fans who, bought into this like I did, I'm sorry. This is who they are. This is who the team is. It was nice to get that 1 week of hope and feel joyful about football, but it's over. It's over. So thanks for watching here on the channel. Apologies for the lack of content this week. Doing a lot of travel. I spent the weekend in Ann Arbor, Michigan, which was interesting for a guy with Ohio State in his roots. But a good time. A good time. If you ever get up to there to go see a Michigan football game, even if you're an Ohio State fan, it's a good experience to be in the big house. So I can't believe I just said that, but like I said, being a guy who covers college sports on my day-to-day job gives me a lot of opportunities to go to a lot of neat places. So, and it also takes my mind off of this crappy football team. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.